story.
It's easier to excuse bad story than bad gameplay.
I
Because
agree.
at its heart, video games are meant to be fun to play. And they're interactive.
Yes. And
It doesn't mean that you can't have a good story in a video game.
And it also goes to show you that George Lucas, Ian, bad dialogue, can tell a great story, right? So look at the. There are even moments. I hate to say this, my favorite game of all time. In Final Fantasy VI, there are moments where the narrative, where the dialogue is terrible, but the story is so good. The narrative is awesome. So I think. Soul Reaver, that's a great. Like we're on the same. It's like we're on the same wavelength. Helmasaur King. That's exactly what I was thinking about. Anyway, the point is, you can excuse great storytelling if the mechanics are awesome. Like, who cares what the story behind Twisted Metal and Calypso is in Twisted Metal? You don't, because Twisted Metal is a fun as crap game. It's awesome.
Okay, we got 3 more.
All right.
Three. We'll do 3 more because we got to wrap up. And if we didn't get to your question, we're very sorry. A lot of great questions from people, and we really appreciate all of them.
This has been this has been a barrage of questions. We're gonna have to make this like an hour and a half long to answer all these questions. But
anyway, or at least an episode full of just question and answers.
I might do that. That might be good. Yep.
Ronnie Meth asks, what's the most tear-jerking story in a video game you have played? A game that has honestly almost driven you to tears and had an emotional impact on you. You know it's happened. You've almost been driven to tears at the very least.
Yeah, well, you can watch the Painful Memories about it.
Man, I know there is something.
There are a lot of good. There are a lot of good games that I would say have done that. So the easy answer is Final Fantasy VII with the death of Aerith.
Oh yeah, but I heard about that way before I played it. So
me too, I guess. But we were still shocked. We were still shocked when it happened, though.
The ending to Final Fantasy VI didn't drive me to tears, but it definitely was impactful, especially because I was a teenager at the time, and teenagers are little balls of emotion. Mother 3 is also, of the more modern games I've played, Mother 3 is definitely one of the more emotional ones. Yes, that's a very good answer.
I want to go ahead and go on a limb and say Skyrim, because there was, and this is going to talk about your fake narrative. So woo in your eye. But at any point you get companions, right, that come with you. And I had this companion that I had who was with me for a while and was like going into all the dungeons and all this stuff. And even though it's just a little avatar that's with you, right? It felt like you had someone with you when you went into these really scary places. Mm-hmm. And then I was on the side of this mountain one time. We had just I probably played hours with this person. And all of a sudden she died. And a couple times she got injured. And I was like trying to draw them away or whatever. And I'd run around and be like, where is she? Where is she? Where is she? And then this one time I was like, where is she? Where is she? Where is she? And I'm in the middle of this snowy mountain. I walk over the hill and there I see she's dead. And there's no way to get her back. And it was like,
wah, wah.
Yeah, and it was really, really sad. I mean, that was not a moment that anybody planned for, and it wasn't a crappy moment like Lydia? Lydia.
It was Lydia.
It was Lydia. How the hell did they know that? That's amazing.
Magic.
Anyway, Lydia was, I was about to say, Lydia. Anyway, so yeah, Lydia came along and I was like,
Kingdom
oh yeah,
Hearts
Lydia. And then she died. And I was like, oh, Lydia, that's so sad.
You know what else?
Because she's your first manservant. Actually, she's a woman, but woman-servant.
Woman-servant.
Yeah.
You know what? Even though the story is convoluted as all hell, the twist at the ending of Braid was very impactful, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
When I don't want to do the spoilers. If you haven't played Braid, you really should. It's a great game.
Yeah, and hit mute right now.
Yeah. No, I won't say what happens.
Okay,
but if you have played it, and then there's a thing that happens at the end where things it's almost total M. Night Shyamalan, except in a good way on you. And you're like, what? Yeah. No spoilers. No one say it in the chat if you've played it.
It's such a great game. But I'll be honest, reading the first, and this is where the cutscene thing comes in.
Impact.
Yeah, the first time you read the very first book before you jump into the first door for the first level of Braid is emotional.
Oh, it's very good.
It is.
And you know what? The music is very big on that.
It is. It's fantastic. You know it's epic right from the get-go. I mean,
everybody dies.
Everybody dies. But yeah, I mean, so there are the easy answers, but then there are some gems out there.
Gems.
16-bit
Sonic Rose asks, "What's the strangest storyline in a video game you can think of?"
Oh well,
Let's
that's
see.
easy.
Every Japanese game. No, what?
2 words. Burn cycle.
That's the strangest.
That was pretty messed up.
Eesh.
How about what was the story that Spoonie played? What was the game that Spoonie played with Christopher Walken? The Witcher? No,
Not the Witcher. No,
the Ripper. The Ripper.
Ripper.
That story was effed up.
That was a lot like Burn Cycle, kind of.
Effed up.
You know what I was gonna say? Katamari Damacy.
Oh God,
That's
game
just
is
pure
freaking crazy.
That's pure unadulterated
Pikmin.
crazy.
Yeah, no, you're right. That is.
Pikmin's not weird. It's just about a guy enslaving a race. What? Plumbers don't wear ties.
Phantasmagoria was pretty screwed up too.
Plumbers Don't Wear Ties is just the worst video game ever made.
Pretty much.
That's not even a video game.
Pretty much every one of the epic adventure games had a really crazy story. The adult epic adventure games, like Phantasmagoria and Ripper.
Sorry. We're looking for the last. Here, you vamp for a second. I'm looking for the last question.
Vamping on. Oh, the weirdest story. So let's see. What's another good one that's really, really strange? You know what's? Here's a good one, and this goes to make the point. Is Myst? Because what is really the story of Myst besides? You get put in this place, and you have. It's very similar to Minecraft, and you just get plopped in this place. You have no idea what to do. There are no rules. There's nothing to tell you how to interact. You just kind of go. Man. And then all of a sudden, you get into a place, and you see pictures come to life, and there's this guy who keeps the books and the time and stories and. Ugh, it's just crazy. Anyway.
So many good stories or questions to think of. Yeah, all right. Let's go with this one.
Or you know what? Another good one is Guild Wars. I like the way that it transitions between pre-searing and post-searing. So you have the entire world changes halfway through the game. Not even halfway. A third way through the game. The entire world gets kind of changed by a huge event, and it's just awesome. Anyway.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, I missed it.
What do we got?
Okay. Holia Jora asks.
Yep. Holy Jora. Yeah.
What do you think about video game series, where the story between games are connected versus series where the games are essentially separate, as well as how they both impact things? So, like Final Fantasy, none of those games are really connected.
It's episodic.
Do you think it's better that it's episodic, or do you prefer serial games?
Oh.
There's not a lot of serial video game series, really, are there?
I'm going to do that family.
No, seriously.
Yes.
Like?
The Elder Scrolls.
Like they seriously...
Yes.
The story follows...
Yes. It's all one giant freaking epic story.
Okay.
Halo.
Kingdom Hearts is serial to a fault because it's really difficult to jump into that. Even if you have played all the games, it's difficult to follow.
Yeah, but the thing
story.
is, man, that's not what an episode really means, right? I mean, the idea is...
I'm saying episodic versus serial. Episodic is Next Generation. Serial is Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, I get you. You don't have to know anything about Elder Scrolls to play Skyrim. So I agree with that.
Okay.
I'm talking about the games are a part of one giant epic universe, and it will definitely enhance your understanding to play them in order.
Okay, so this is... I want some cereal now. This is... Okay,
Very
if
good.
anyone
Well played.
is a fan, I'm going to liken this to sci-fi. I love... I was going to say Battlestar Galactica, but I meant to say Babylon 5, but actually both work.
Yes.
They're both very serial. If you jump in the middle...
Super ethereal.
If you jump into the middle...
Yep.
Of either of those series, you're gonna have a bad time. It's gonna be difficult. Okay,
you're gonna have a bad time.
As opposed to Star Trek Next Generation, it's very episodic. Now, I don't know.
But games defy that nature, and that's my point.
What do you prefer?
Like, if you have something like Final Fantasy, where it doesn't matter,
you have to have both. I think to have a good state of the video game universe.
Well, look at System Shock. System Shock and its spiritual successors have absolutely nothing to do with each other besides the ideas of
Milk Gear Solid
mechanics and how they come together, and then the universes that tie them together. Mm-hmm. You know, the idea of the setting, right, being such a big important player in the series. System Shock is a spiritual successor. It feels just like, you know, Infinite will feel a lot like BioShock, which felt a lot like System Shock. But they're not the same game.
I think you need both kinds of games because it depends on how you're feeling. It depends on how much time you have to put in. You know,
yeah.
To get those really epic multi game storylines like Kingdom Hearts. Sometimes you want that kind of real meat and potatoes and engaging, intriguing storyline. Sometimes you just want to play some Final Fantasy and play your Final Fantasy 6, and then you have to worry about skipping to 10 because they're not connected at all. You know,
right, you're right.
Blah, blah, blah. Second part of the question, though, and I think this is very interesting. What do you think of the concept of silent mains and their place in stories?
Yep.
So, for example, Link in Legend of Zelda, Chrono in
Grand
Chrono
Theft Auto
Cross,
3.
Clyde in Grand Theft Auto 3, but not
Tony Vercetti.
anyone else in those later Grand Theft Auto games. Yeah. They all talk. What do you think about that? I personally am kind of sick of it. I understand the point of putting yourself in the character. I don't like silent mains. It's weird.
I'm going to go the opposite way. My favorite Grand Theft Auto game is Vice City, where he talks, but it went way overboard. Nico Bellic talks way too much. And I actually
it can be certainly done poorly.
I longed for the days of the original Grand Theft Auto where you were just this silent character that didn't care. You know, it wasn't like it's just trying to run in and run out, you know. And by the way, if any of you have seen the movie Drive or are going to see the movie Drive is a perfect example of a movie, not a game, that has a very, very silent protagonist but tells an amazing story. And I kind of long for that, and it gets away with it, and it does it really well. So for me, the silent protagonist is pretty awesome. Now, in Skyrim, the only reason that you talk is when you do your shouts. So you don't actively participate in the, right? Well, we already had that, you know, fools, rah, right?
Right.
But I like that. You know, Link only makes noise in many of the Link games when he's thrusting his sword, you know.
Hey, PG.
You know?
Yes. All right. That does it. I think. You know what? Let's end on a quick question from Sonic Rose. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think of the new actor for Hulk in the Avengers?
Mark Ruffalo. Oh, I thought he was awesome.
Thumbs up.
Although I would tell you,
Hulk is the breakout character in the Avengers.
Hulk's the breakout character in the Avengers, and it's done very, very well. I thought it was a great tie-in. I don't think it's and I think it's the best iteration of the Hulk. But the best Hulk movie to this point, for my money, is the Ed Norton Hulk. It's actually
only
really
been two, really.
Well, there's Ang Lee,
which was no.
That's Hulk.
I know, but that's bad.
And then there's Ed Norton,
which was good.
And then there's Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, but that wasn't the Hulk movie. That was the Avengers.
He stole the show. He stole the show.
He did. And I also credit Joss Whedon big for that.
I do too.
But I'm very interested
as much as I have hated Joss Whedon's work in the past, I'm going to stand here right in front of you before God and all of our fans.
God and everybody.
And say that I really enjoyed the way Joss Whedon tied this movie together, because I think it could only work if someone that was a genius picked it up and worked on it.
He really tied the room together.
He did such a tremendous job with this film. I'm now a Joss Whedon fan.
What?
And I would
so
say...
now you're going to watch Firefly?
Fuck no. No. Don't even bother. It's awful. There's no way.
All right.
Anyway, I think we're done with that. Yep. Now that we're totally jumped off the PG bandwagon at this point. Thank you all for watching. Hey, by the way, we're doing this. We didn't even talk about the dates, right? So we did this. We did this as we normally do.
Oh yeah.
The second and fourth week.
No, first and third.
First and third.
You don't even know.
I'm so sorry. My mind is shifted. We normally do the first and third, but E3 is coming up.
Yes.
And so we needed to alter the schedule for the Wednesdays that we do the podcast, because we wanted to facilitate E3.
Yes.
So this month we've moved things
to the third and fifth Wednesdays
of the month,
so that we can
talk about
pre-E3
NA
post E3.
So you know a little bit about what to look for next time,
Yes.
where we will kind of talk up some of the hype of what's surrounding the biggest video game time of the year.